Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's happening? Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, has released a little bit of a sneak peek of some training footage working with Malik Scott. Rick looking real sharp. You know what I'm saying? Working on the jab and the straight right hand and head movement and, the small, subtle things and the simple nuances that really take you a long way in the sport of boxing. And it was good to see just to see the champ back in the ring, and not in the ring, but just back training and being active and things like that. And I'm excited to see him back in the ring. I would love to see Deontay Wilder get in with, of course, the trilogy with Tyson Fury. I would love to see that. The winner out of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, if that fight actually happens. Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz is a great fight. Man, it's a lot of different matchups, man. You got Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois out there. There's so many different guys that I would love to see Wilder fight. Usyk would be a great match. So, but I wanted to talk about a couple of different things, man. The scariest thing about Deontay Wilder, you look at the fact that he started boxing at the age of 19. Most of these guys, they start boxing at, 5, 6, 7 years old. They grow up in the sport, go through all the amateur tournaments, silver gloves, golden gloves, Olympics, regional tournaments, all type of shit. You dig what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder started boxing at the age of 19, man, and he really, got into this shit and turned pro so he can help his daughter, who was dealing with some medical ailments at the time. He even made it to the Olympics and medaled as a bronze medalist. And he did all of this off of sheer God-given ability, talent, power, athleticism, speed. Just everything was pure, just God-given talent. Starting at the age of 19, being able to go to the Olympics and win a medal with literally no boxing experience, and then to do what he did in the pro ranks, had one of the greatest, probably the greatest knockout streak of all time. One of the most electrifying fighters of all time, one of the most electrifying punchers of all time, one of the most exciting fighters to watch of all time, and one of the most powerful punchers of all time. And he had, I believe, the longest or the second longest reign as the WBC champion in heavyweight history. I mean, Deontay Wilder did some incredible things in his career, and his career is still going. It's still not over. 42-1 with a draw to Tyson Fury. And man, he's put on a phenomenal career. And the scariest thing about Deontay Wilder is that he did all of this just off of pure God-given ability. And the craziest thing about it is a lot of people like to put him down. They like to talk crap about him and try to diminish his skills and his ability. And, a lot of it, 95% of it is out of pure hate. A lot of these guys, they hate themselves. They have an inferiority complex. They see Deontay Wilder. They see a big, strong black brother, that blessed with all this ability. And when they look in the mirror, they sad with what they see in the mirror. They look in the mirror and they know that they would never be anything close to Deontay Wilder. So they hate that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy to see how people, talk so much shit about Wilder, and as if they could go in the ring and do these same things, but they would never be able to do anything close to that. And this brother did all of this off of pure God-given ability. Yeah, now give a little bit of credit to his coaches. Of course, they coached him up and helped him with some of the basics. But, it seems like when things go wrong, all the blame is being put on Wilder. They say, Wilder, he don't got no skills. He's sloppy. He wild and he do all this, all this other shit. but they put all the blame on Wilder, and none of the blame goes to the trainers. They shit on Wilder for getting rid of Mark Breland for whatever the reason was that he got rid of him. But, you say he needs better training. Well, where's the blame for the trainers, right? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he still put on so many great performances throughout his career. And I love to see him back in the gym working on the small things. I would love to see him, work on his jab, using the jab, being consistent with it, using the jab to set everything up, being more crisp and sharp with his shots. He's really a sharpshooter with the right hand, and I feel like Deontay Wilder, he relied on the right hand too much throughout his career, and he got through his whole career, numerous title defenses, big wins, all off of just being just a great sharpshooter and a great knockout artist with that right hand. But he can be so much more than that. And I like to see him work on these small things, just, using the head movement, getting better on the inside, making his punches more short and compact on the inside, because he's a strong guy. He has physical strength. I just think a lot of times he fell in love with shooting that right hand from distance, as opposed to mixing it up a bit, using the head movement, working your way on the inside, using your jab as you working your way on the inside. And I like what he's doing with Malik Scott. I would love to see Deontay Wilder with somebody like a Derrick James, somebody that'll help him use his jab as a rangefinder. As not only a rangefinder, but as a way to work his way on the inside and work his way from the inside out, and then use that jab to set up everything else. I believe Derrick James is phenomenal at that. But I'm just excited to see Deontay Wilder back working, and I think he can come back and make a huge splash in the heavyweight division. And he's still a very dangerous fighter for anybody. That right hand is still capable of knocking out any heavyweight that's fighting today. Any fighter, any human being, that right hand can put your motherfucking ass out at any time. And if he can add some different things to that, just be a little bit more versatile, man, and put his punches together. Just use the small intricacies, and really become a complete fighter, or as complete as Deontay Wilder can be, because of course he's 35, 36 years old. It's only so much that you can do this late in your career. But like I said, he started boxing late, so I believe that he can still get better. And it's all about just working on the small things. Being, it's a mental thing as well, because you have to humble yourself. And I think this the loss to Tyson Fury probably could have been one of the best things that happened to him, because you have to humble yourself. Not saying that Deontay Wilder wasn't humble, because he's a very humble guy. He understands his position in life and in boxing, and he's a thinking man. He's a very cerebral guy. And if you just listen to an interview, you can tell that Deontay Wilder comes from a place of love. You know what I'm saying? He comes from a good place. So. But you in the ring, though, as a fighter, you gotta humble yourself and understand that, look, even though I've been dominant all these years, I've been able to knock motherfuckers out at any time, I can still get better. I can work on other things. I don't have to just rely on the right hand. I can use my jab and be more consistent with it. You go back to the Tyson Fury rematch, he wasn't using the jab at all. It's like he was just waiting on the right hand the whole time. He wasn't really using that jab and being consistent with it, and kind of just keeping it out there, even as a blinder sometimes, so that way you can bring that right hand behind it. I would like to see Deontay Wilder throw the uppercut more. I would like to see him throw that left hook more. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see him put an overhand right in there sometime. It don't always have to be a straight right. You can throw an overhand right in there. Mix that shit up sometimes. And I would like to see him show a little bit more pitter-pat punches. That way you can set up your hard shots. Every shot don't have to be hard. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the scariest thing about Deontay Wilder to me. The fact that he's been able to do all of this off of pure God-given ability. And just imagine if he can just put it all together and put the skills with that and just become more of a complete fighter, even at this stage in his career, man, I think, Deontay Wilder can have another good, 2 or 3 year run, man, and put on some great performances and become champion again. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. How do y'all feel about Deontay Wilder's return to boxing? Who do y'all want to see him fight next? And, how do y'all think he would fare versus the top guys in the division right now, man? And I'm interested to see how y'all feel about this, man. Contender regime, boxing. I'll holla at y'all boys, man.